Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to Awakenings with Michele Meiche, the weekly dose of spiritual and metaphysical insights and information for navigating the soul path. Listeners are invited to call into the show for a reading or with questions and comments. Call 347-539-5122 and press 1 on the keypad. Also, join the Sacred Space of Empowerment live chat. To create a username, register with Blog Talk Radio. It's great to connect with all of you here.
Hey everyone, welcome. Good to be here. Wonderful Wednesday, Wisdom Wednesday, Wacky Wednesday. If you're new to the program, just consider you're in the right place, right where you need to be, right here, right now. I am Michele Meiche. All day today I have been. Welcome everyone in the chat room, also known as the Sacred Space of Empowerment Room. My cohorts, co-hosts, co-pilots, and sound engineers there keep me grounded and aligned. Great group of people connecting in the chat. Welcome to everyone listening by phone. If you have a question or a comment or you'd like a reading, you can call in at 347-539-5122. And if you are in the phone lines and in the queue, press 1 so that I know that you want to chat, that you want to get on air. Yeah, Tamara, refresh. Michele is live. Woohoo! Yes, we are. Oh my God, I've been looking so forward to today's show. So much going on. I got a lot of emails and Facebook messages about bringing high vibes back, which we did start in August. September, this month, I am bringing back Liberate Your Life, releasing that core wounding and core belief. And there's only one wounding, one belief, release, gone, done forever. You will have that awareness of what that belief is and what that wounding is. And we do deep regression work to get to that. This is why it's so insidious, so difficult to find. I've been doing a lot of research on this since the mid-90s, and with regression, past life regression, all kinds of shamanic work, all kinds of soul retrieval. This is why I developed the 5-step emotional clearing process, which is still amazing, still great to do, especially if you get triggered. However, once you figure out what this whole wound is, what this wounding is, and it's at such an early age, this is why we do deep regression and interplane work on it. And the belief, you see what you've created or co-created in your life and why. And right now it's just time to play a different game. It's a bigger game, living less from the wounding and more from the soul. And so that's why I'm really kind of pushing to center court with a lot of support right now. And also I will be bringing back Becoming a Channel. A lot of you asked that you wanted to have an ongoing, at least for a few sessions, teleworkshop sessions. All these are ongoing programs. With the Liberate Your Life, we meet twice or 3 times. And then there's growth work, there's things that I give in between. And I do it this way because it's just easier than just doing one workshop. You get blown out. The support is so important. Like High Vibes is going on for 3 months. We meet 3 times. And I do email coaching. The Liberate Your Life, you will have coaching sessions, and then Becoming an Open Channel, reinforcing your intuition and becoming an open channel. So we're going to work with people's intuition. We actually do readings in the teleworkshop, and then I'm also doing a mini coaching phone session. So a lot of support. I love doing it. I believe in it. Thank you, Tamara. Tamara put the link in the chat. You can go to Eventbrite for either of them, or you can go to soulplayground.life for more information, and then just go to events. What does it say? Happenings, events, and happenings, and both of them are there. So I will continue this into at least the beginning of the year, right when we start again with our in January, our first eclipse. So there's a theme of what we're doing, and I'm going through it too, everyone, Some of this is like, okay, if I'm going through this and I've got this great technology or this is helping me, I want to share it. And many of you know me. You watch my posts, those of you that follow my blog on soulplayground.life. I'm like a little buoy. I flow with things and bounce with things. This has been a really, really tough transition. This has been woo. With the eclipses, the retrogrades, just the aspects that are happening. I've got a lot of earth in my chart, a lot of fire, some air, a lot of Aquarius energy. So it's Leo Aquarius. I'm really hit. And one of the things, if you follow me on Facebook or connect with me on Facebook, I did do a post this morning about surprise yourself, that we're at a crossroads, a turning point. And one of the best things you can do right now is find ways to really move out of your comfort zone into the growth zone, and to do some things that you either have been wanting to do. This is why I love working with groups and small groups so much, is because we really not only anchor the energy, but we support each other with the intention of what we want and call it in. That's the whole thing. It's learning how to do that so that you're living more and more by calling in your experiences, drawing in your experiences, and practicing this. If you follow my blog, my last post, which I suggested, if you haven't read it, read it, because I talk about how right now we really need to be a bit of a Houdini, a magician. We need to be a little bit of a magician and an artist and a bit of Buddha. So it's an interesting combination when you're becoming spirit-led. You're following the spiritual energy, the nudges, the openings. You're becoming more connected to the subtle energy. And so you're understanding that the map is within you. It's ever unfolding. You ask for the signs, and the signs are there. You feel something. You get confirmation. And soul-fueled, why do I call it soul-fueled? It's because you're getting your fuel, your passion from your soul, not so much from your ego. The passion or the fuel, what causes us to live? What causes us to get up in the morning? Desire. If you don't have desires, you're not going to get up. Whether it's feeding a family, or I got to make my ends meet, or I want to get ahead, or I'm an artist, I want to make this great painting or sculpture, or I want to make this great jewelry. There's a desire not to just be something, because you already are something. You're a spiritual being. We're all spirit or consciousness made manifest. Spirit in a physical form. That has a soul. The soul is the blueprint. So the more you can get up with your desires, your needs, you're coming more from the soul, the more you're living authentically. The more this is this great unfolding. And to let yourself be cradled into that divine mother, father, into the existence of the all that is, into the earth, let it carry you. Let it carry you. A great friend of mine was saying the other day, and I think I might have mentioned it, but the same energy that shocks you, that brings you down, that brings the loss, that holds you back, it's all the same energy. It's the same energy that lifts you up and carries you. So what part of us gets, blocked or held back is simply the ego. It's almost like, think of yourself with clay, or let's say Play-Doh, and you've got this ball of clay, right? And you're molding it. Well, while you're molding it, it seems like it's nothing, but it still is clay. And maybe you mold it into a certain shape, and then before you fire it or put it in the oven or whatever, leave it outside to bake, you decide to change the shape, or you decide to refine it or adjust it. I remember when I was taking pottery classes, I would change my mind so much. I'd start out with one thing, and I don't know if I want to make that. It's still the same clay. So it's still the same spiritual energy. It just depends on how we want to use it or align to it. This morning I was doing a check-in with my High Vibes group, the one they're doing the teleworkshop program, and, I was bringing this up to them is, look and see where are you going? And also that the more that we live empowered, the more we are empowering others. We don't even some of you want to do it, more overtly, You're saying, I'm a teacher, I'm a healer, I'm a this, I'm a that. But more and more, it's more about how we live, and not necessarily, especially in our personal life, trying to influence someone, trying to empower or help someone. It's just by our very being and showing up soul-fueled and spirit-led, and then that will let us know what is the right action, what is the right response. So we're not coming so much from conditioned responses, like this is how I need to do, this is what I need to do, but by what is the truth of the matter. And we can know that when we're connecting into the higher self, which I always say is that mediating intelligence from the lower or the surface mind, or what we can see surfacely, what we've experienced surfacely or on the egoic level. There's an aspect of us, when we expand into that aspect, it's higher frequency energy and experience and expression, we're now connecting consciously to the innate intelligence of the all that is, of the universe or universes or God, whatever you want to call this energy, this consciousness, the formlessness. But we do need to shift out of the beta consciousness, out of the more surface or limiting consciousness, out of what we can see. Now, what you can do, and this is what I share and teach, and we, again, have the check-in on this in my developing your intuition and becoming an open channel, connecting to your intuition, becoming psychic, and then opening the channel. Those are three kind of levels or stages. You have this dialogue with the universe where you're putting the needs and wants out, the message. You're asking for the guidance, whether you're working with, you're connecting to your own higher self, your spirit team, the oversouls, however, guides. It becomes this strong relationship. But just like any relationship, it has to be nurtured. You have to commune. You have to communicate. Even if you have friends that you don't talk to that much, let's say, however, you've been friends, let's say, for years, or, you've gone through, tremendous things together, whether you deem them positive or negative, it still requires some tapping in, some connecting to keep that friendship, or an email or text, something. There's something there, and then you have friends, right? And I would say this is our higher self. This is spirit, this is our guardian angel or angels, this is the angel. We may never, or maybe, a few times check in, but they're always there. That part of you is always there. Your higher self is always there. Just because you lose touch with it doesn't mean that it's not. By the way, I don't know if all of you, I'm hearing, it stopped for a while. Now I'm back hearing my celestial sounds again and the Om, and it's just amazing. The other day I was at the sink and I was rinsing out Yoshi's little food bowl, and I heard the most amazing Oms. Oh my gosh, and I'm pausing. And what's interesting, I was remembering, except knock on wood, I don't get headaches, knock on wood, rarely. I can count probably the last headache I don't know, I had was maybe 6 or 8 months ago. And before that, I don't know, years. But I remember years ago, somewhere around the mid-90s, I was doing this flower of essence work. I can't think of the guy's last name, Rick something, but Jesulit. Anyway, one of the places, by the way, where I re-met Robert Wilkinson in Encinitas, or Carlsbad, and California. And this guy, I remember saying that I was going to hear that the angels were going to be visiting me, and I was going to be sometimes having to just stop or pull off the side of the road if I was driving, or just that hasn't happened. But walking, I'd had to just stop walking. Oh, maybe when I was in Topanga, I did pull off the side of the road and just listen. And I feel like I'm getting this major attunement. And I've been seeing, I always forever since the late 80s, always saw 1111 and 111. That's been a stand. 1212. Those are galactic numbers. The 333, the 555, 222, 777, those 999, those numbers are what we call from the angelic realm. So it's just a little different vibratory frequency. So I have been seeing a lot of 222. I was seeing a lot of 555. I'm seeing a lot of 333 and 222, which is about cooperation. So I'm enjoying that. Just thought I'd share that with you. So, one of my great metaphysical teachers, Dr. Hahn, used to say, that we put the call out there. We ask for something. And I think I shared this with you. And I've since had many experiences of this, but I was having a lot of paranormal or physical experiences where furniture would move. And at the time I was living by myself, and I was going back to school, hypnotherapy school, and transpersonal, to become also a transpersonal therapist. So it was interesting. I mean, the phenomena, like I had a huge, leather sofa and big chairs, kind of overstuffed. And, not that you could run into them, and I remember coming back and move them. I remember coming back from the movies with a friend of mine, and the sofa was at an angle, and I only had a cat at the time, little Cleo, so I know she wasn't doing it. But I remember saying something like her mouse was on my desk. There's no reason it would be on my desk because she did not lay around on my where my computer was. And I remember saying, "Oh, that's interesting. That's cute. It'd be even more interesting if the mouse was touching the mouse of the computer." And I went in the other room and I was doing some stuff. Went in my office because I had I had two offices, one for kind of computer and artwork and then one for healing work. And I came out and the mouse was touching the mouse, a little stuffed animal mouse, catnip mouse. So there was a lot of that kind of stuff going on within my house or moving. And Dr. Hahn had said, but you must have asked for this. You requested this. And I couldn't say, I said, no. He said, no. He goes, we get what we ask for. We get what we request. And when we need signs, we get signs. When we ask for signs, we get signs. He goes, we just forget that we ask. We think, because when we ask for miracles, the miracle is that which we've prayed for, we've asked. He also had a doctorate in divinity, if you can't tell. And then I remembered, yes, I had seen so many miracles within session, people that I were working with that were healed from cancer or other, autoimmune diseases. I was doing a lot of intense healing work, or have been for many years. And I remember saying, I want to see this kind of miracles or interesting stuff outside of session. I don't want to just have to see it in session or experience it in session. So I did ask. So what I would suggest to all of you is look and see, what have you asked for? What are you asking for now? And look around. Notice the signs. We're at a crossroads. Surprise yourself. Take a chance. Dare to do something a little bit differently. The other day, I got a chiropractic adjustment. Dr. Kenji, who's amazing, the good chiropractor. And normally I like to go home. I like to rest. I have my whole little routine. And, which could be good. That's self-care and nurturing. But then I had a friend that wanted to talk to me and come over and hang out with coffee. And I did it. And I'm so glad that I did. It was so enriching in a different way. It's these small little things, adjustments, that's what's connecting you more to feeling spirit, where the spirit is leading you, where the spiritual energy is leading you, and connecting you more to the blueprint of your soul, right? Getting past those faxes, facsimiles, templates, getting, to what's authentic. What is authentic connection? What is authentic expression? Again, some of the things I've been going through, I've been getting, in my messages, your friends will help you or ask for help, or your friends and I'm like, well, there's nothing that anybody can really do. But it's little things like this. So very often I find people on the path, and I definitely see it with people that I work with, a lot of times they miss the signs, the symbols. They miss it. You're looking for it in a certain way, and by being stuck to the way that you always do things and sticking to that. Sometimes you need to, but again, you've got to pause. Once you learn how do I pause and listen? You know, that's one of the things we go over in the psychic development and opening the channel series, is how to get that intuition, like, so it's second nature. So as you're reinforcing that, you're opening up more and more to becoming psychic, reading the Akashic, reading the psychic imprint, the psychic energy, the blueprint that's there. In other words, the closer you get to your blueprint, the higher self is the great builder. Then you're building more from the higher self than the ego. We're creator beings no matter what vibration or what level. The higher self is going to take into consideration what's best for your body, mind, spirit, and soul. You know, your ego even. It's going to take, but it's also going to take in consideration what's best for the whole situation and all people, as much as possible, all people concerned. There's a wider arc, you know, or archway, when we're coming more and less from duality, let's say, more and more from undifferentiated energy, when we can ascend as much as possible beyond duality. Then we're getting the undiluted energy. But now think about it. That makes life much richer. That's why my blog post this month, I was saying you need to be a bit of a magician. The sleight of hand, working with the subtle energy, seeing the magic in life, being more of a mystic, slowing down. You know, magicians are very focused. A lot of them I know that I've worked with them that do even some form of meditation, whether they call it that or not. They're centered. They don't, you know, you can't command that kind of energy and do those kinds of acts or tricks or whatever you want to call them without being very focused. And the magician is the male energy, so you're guiding something, you're directing something, you're creating something, you're manifesting something. Same with the artist. The artist is manifesting, but the artist recognizing it's an open channel also. And then I say you also need to connect to your Buddha nature, the Buddha within. Well, the Buddha knows when to let go, when to surrender, to feel the let go. Last week I talked about this on Awakenings from that amazing actress, Uza Abdullah, I believe. I resaw the interview, actually taped what she was saying. She calls it feeling the let go, where something else is coming through. You lose touch with your being. It's like, oh, something's coming in. So living more and more from that open channel, because that's all we really are anyway. That's the whole thing. We just have all these mental constructs that we put in place, which is something why developed, created and then developed to liberate your life, is because that core wounding and that causes us to create a belief to navigate the world. But we don't really need a belief to navigate the world. All we really need is openness. Because in truth, beliefs come and go. Little truths come and go. Right? I mean, my belief was I used to love shrimp scampi. I became allergic to it. Okay. My belief is okay. Do I still love it? No, I haven't had it in so long. You know what I'm saying? So your beliefs are going to change. Some may or may not. Your values, some may or may not. It depends on your growth. It depends on your circumstances. It depends what's going on in your life. Some people have certain beliefs, and then when they have children, they have different beliefs. Some people believe, oh, dogs are just dogs until they have an amazing conscious being in a dog body, and they go, oh, my God, my dog's the best. Oh, my God. Or my child is the best. Or my kids are or that school is the best. But the openness, the open to channel, the open to allow what is truly you to come through, the undifferentiated you, the unseparated out you. It'll come through in the soul to bring it your individuality, your uniqueness. But it's trusting that you don't have to do something to say, I'm unique, I'm different, I'm special. If you're living connected to your soul, by the very definition of being connected to your soul, what you do, what you decide to do, how you live will be unique. You will be recognized. We don't have to try anymore. We don't have to try to be an artist dresses this way or that. No, you are what you are. However you do it, if it's the truth, it will communicate. And so living more from the soul, we begin to realize how layered we are, how complex we are. We are simple. This is a good contemplation, meditation to do. To keep it simple. We are very simple. Our needs and wants are simple. However, as beings, we are complex. So there's complexity to who and what and how we are and how we live. We're complex. But what really nurtures us is very simple. Our living, if it's complicated, if how we're living is complicated, we're living more from the ego. Now we have complex parts of ourselves or parts that seem paradoxical. However, if we live them out in life-enhancing ways, these parts that seem paradoxical, they balance out. So contemplate, what are your turning points? That's what I've been looking at. You know, what can I do to surprise myself? Well, first of all, opening to see what is, and letting that surprise be in little ways so that you can be receptive to the new energy that's coming in, that's shifting you to have more of a broader or bigger life, more expansive, a life of more resonance. But it's going to be a bit of a surprise to the ego part of you. It's going to might upset some things, might cause some shifts. You might feel like, oh my God, here's the Tower card. You know, Tower card in the tarot is mostly about inner shifting. But sometimes we have outer situations that reflect that inner shift. So I've been asking myself, what can I do to surprise myself? What's something I wouldn't normally do, but I've been wanting to do, or I wouldn't normally do? What can I do to break the norm? Because when we break our norm, when we stretch out of the comfort zone, you know, just a little stretch, we allow new energy in, new influences, new ideas, new people. But you have to stretch. You have to move out. You have to breathe in. You have to breathe out and expand your breath. If you're breathing shallowly, living small, you're going to miss those openings. So I did do my YouTube readings, by the way, on my channel. If you want to check it out, I did for each element: earth, air, fire, and water. Okay, so I did for astrologically for each element what is coming in. I really tuned in, worked with the guides and oversouls to see what is coming in for each of you during this time. So shall we get to some calls? I love it, by the way. We're going to have later on Astrologer Daniel Fiverson is back with us, and we're going to be talking about the asteroids and their astrological impact. So we have a lot going on energetically, astrologically. There's a lot that's calling us forward to live more from our truth. Okay, let's get to what we got here. Hello, you're on air. You're on
Hello?
air. Hi.
Hi.
Welcome.
My name's Michelle.
And who's this? Hey, Michelle.
Michelle
Welcome.
from Wisconsin. Thank you.
Oh, Wisconsin. Oh, great. Welcome. Okay. What's your question, Michelle, from Wisconsin?
I just met someone recently online, and we just went out a couple times, and I was just wondering if you see anything in this relationship.
I see a lot, but you want to see if it's going to unfold more. There's going to be longer unfolding.
Yeah. He's the one, or should I keep looking?
Well, you may get the one. Well, you should keep looking and keep open, but I am seeing duration, I'm seeing patience, but I am seeing there's quite a connection between the two of you, and I do see more going out. I am seeing more dating. But I do feel for you, it's at the point where you can casually go out with other people, see where it goes. That's just more for you, is what I'm hearing. But I'm seeing more dating with this guy. I'm not seeing a breakup. So it may be.
I feel like it's hard to date more than one. You know?
Well, the healthiest thing is to date more than one person until it gets to a certain point, a certain level. Because otherwise you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself and that other person. So if you casually date, because I don't feel this is going to be a quick something, that it shows it's a slower moving getting to know you. So you could go out, a week and then next week and then it might be 2 weeks or 3 weeks. So I do see this person's got a lot going on with work and something. This guy's thoughts about Michelle. Let's see. He's just slower. I don't know. Taurus. It's just it's a slower moving energy. So keep your life going until you guys both decide, or maybe you decide on your own. But I just feel like it's only been a couple of times. I don't feel it's been more than 3.
It has.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. But we work different shifts, so I don't know how it's gonna. That's probably why it's gonna have to be slow, because I work first shift and he works second shift.
Okay. That's why. Okay, because it showed something with work with him. Yeah. So just don't pressure yourself yet. Not for 3 dates. Okay?
No, I'm not. I was just wondering.
Yeah. No. I mean,
okay.
But where you say, "Oh, I'm just only going to date him," or just see where it goes, see how you feel. It's a longer process of building. But he's definitely interested. Definitely, there's a connection there. All right, Michelle.
Okay.
Take good care. Okay.
You too, and thank you.
You're so welcome. Hi, 703-201. Hello, you're on air.
Hello, my name's Andrea.
Hey, Andrea, welcome.
I do resonate with the 1111s, by the way. I have a calendar full of all the pictures because people don't believe me.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, it's pretty amazing when you get that little, it's like a attunement, an alignment.
Yes.
Spiritual attunement or alignment, right, when you see that.
Put out the good intentions. And I do see 1, 2, 3, 4s a lot, and I see consecutive numbers a lot. So, yeah, I'm very much into numerology now the last year or so. So I'm with you on that one.
Great. All right. Do you have a question?
I do. I was wondering what you pick up with this relationship. His name is Edward, and we kind of had a little falling out. So I'm not sure if you see a resolution or what kind of energy you pick up with him.
Well, he has a very emotional side.
Yes.
I almost feel like Cancerian energy going back into his shell, Let's see, how should Andre situation with Edward? Well, I feel like you guys are going to be talking. Seems like a miscommunication. Edward,
okay. You think he'll reach out to me, or?
Well,
I'm sorry.
Let's see. You might. I'm wondering if you might have to be the one reaching out to him casually.
Mhm.
Edward, let's see. Let me ask what the action you should do.
Okay.
To get it along. Well, it's kind of saying take the high road. Say. I feel did he overreact? Because I feel him a little bit like sheepish or thinking about it. I feel like he didn't handle it well. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So we were dating in 4 months, and for 4 months, then his ex-wife coerced him or manipulated him to come back to the relationship because they have a young child who was devastated about the divorce, and she blackmailed him, saying, our son needs you, blah blah blah. So he decided to go back to that relationship, and I said, well, then good go, but I'm not going to be the side chick. So, and then he lied and said he didn't sleep with her, and he did. So I kind of broke that trust.
Okay.
So I just don't know. I mean, I can miss him, but I just don't know.
Yeah, well, that's why I guess it's saying kind of take the high road or be philosophical about it, have faith, because it shows whatever action he did, he's like feeling sheepish, regretful, like he knows he messed up. He knows he kind of overreacted emotionally, not just to you, but to her as well. I do feel you guys are going to talk again, but I feel it's the kid. He's entangled. There's a codependency there.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
So I don't. I think you keep it light or whatever. But I feel like just as he's kind of starting to really get it, and because I don't see them staying together. No. I feel you're either meeting somebody, or in another relationship. So you may even just putting it in the, acquaintance friend zone, because he has to work this out. Because I see him leaving, I see him back and forth. It's a codependency situation, and he's not quite out of it yet, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. So do you think he'll reach out to me, or am I going to have to reach out to him?
It's not showing, honestly, which. I feel like, I don't know if you're on social media or there's a text. It feels like there's going to be some light communication. He does feel, wussied. He feels wussy. He kind of sees what he did. It's almost like he wants this new life and this freedom. He wants to live authentically, but he's allowing this manipulation, which I feel went on the whole time in their relationship. So I feel like in one way he wants to know, you don't hate me, do you? I do feel he's embarrassed. That's what I feel. He's embarrassed by how he swung way over. The coming back, I don't know. He just sees it. I just feel right now he's like the Cancerian crab, shutting down because, he sees he made a mess of things. So I don't necessarily feel you reaching out. I think it may be him, but because it's saying for you to have faith, to take the high road, to look at it philosophically, to keep your life going. As hard as it is, yes, there was a genuine connection, but he hasn't handled his stuff.
Yeah, I believe you're absolutely right, because I sent him a big Dear John letter saying, you broke my trust and lied and cheated on me and all these things. I said, I choose me, because I was going to give him a choice, between me and her. I said, I forgive you, but you know what? I took power back and said, I choose me. You don't get a choice anymore.
Yeah.
So I know what I'm worth. So basically that's where I left it.
Andrea, here's the thing, though. It's not about you and it's not about her. He's wussy to his life. It doesn't matter. It could be a boss. He's got to, he's got to get some cojones.
He does. I told him.
To heart.
I told him get some chutzpah.
Some chutzpah. Yeah, because right now it's like he's not living fully, but he's using her as the excuse and the child. It's never about the child. I saw it growing up. I see it as a therapist, and I call people on it. Oh, I'm staying in this because of the child. No, you're not. No, you're scared of life. You're scared of something. You're blaming it on the wife or the husband or the kids. Yeah, right?
I'm guilty of that. I did the same thing.
So sister,
I did the same thing. I stayed married an extra 10 years for my children because out of the fear and everything. So I'm guilty of this, doing the same thing.
So you know it. So here's the thing. You attracted somebody that's doing a similar or same thing.
Yep.
So honor where they're at, understand where they're at, but don't. But you gotta expand out of it. You gotta move on so you can understand it. However, he's got to have the same realization that you realized.
Yeah, that's why I forgave him.
That's why Well, you can forgive him, but just let him grow a little bit. Let there be some breathing room.
That's why I told him, I forgive you for what you did. That's why you need to choose. But then I said, at the end of the day, I said, you know what? This back and forth is no good. So I just choose me. So, I spend, a couple of weeks that, I'm thinking you take care of what you need, and I'm just going to do me, you do you. And
there you go.
I feel he'll come back because he does miss me. But thanks so much. I'll keep you updated.
Okay. Yeah, please do. Take good care.
I will. Thanks so much.
You're welcome. Hello, is this Anne? Welcome to the program.
Oh, yes. Hello, Michelle. Thank you so much for taking my phone call.
You're welcome. Did you have a question?
Yes, I have a question to you. I'm looking for a partner, like either remarriage or like long-term partnership. And I don't know if this is meant to be, but, well, I communicate with someone that I know, but as far as I know, he is not divorced yet, so I don't know
it's not
if
him.
there will
it's
be...
not that one.
It's not that one?
No, it's not that one. The thing is that I feel for you is you need to expand your circle, your group. You need to expand out of where you're at. And I do see you're very connected to this one guy, and I'm not feeling that it's him. So
because he doesn't want me, or because his divorce will be not resolved?
Yeah, it's not everybody. I want to say something to you and Andrea and anybody else listening. It's not about you. Stop it. It's not about you're being rejected. It's not that this person doesn't want you. Those of you that are listening, it's they're not ready or they have stuff to handle. This is part of the crossroads that we're all at right now. The old paradigm, we would wait, we would try to heal, you give them a book, you go to a class with them, you try to be friends, you try to work. No. So, no, and it has nothing to do with you. I feel he's messed up. He's lost. He doesn't have his own inner truth or not connected to his own navigational system within. So right now what's happening for many people is you're either meeting people that have some stuff to finish up, and then they're getting it and you'll end up being together. But you can't it's almost like twin soul, twin flame kind of thing. Soulmate that could be turned into a life mate. Right now it's about journeying forward and finding people, being open to and drawing in people that are supportive of you and where you're at, and they're at a similar place or maybe 2 steps ahead of you to inspire you and help you. This person, I feel there's a lot of work there. It's just, I don't see it. I don't even see the divorce quite yet. So I don't even know if they're talking about it or if he just wants to do that.
I think that she is not letting him go, so that's a problem.
No, that's not a problem. People, if you want to go, you go. So if you don't want to go, there's something else. I feel he's lost. No, I feel somebody in your life, but I don't feel it's him. And I feel for you more the close of the year into next year. This guy is using the why. Nobody holds you. Nobody, not even kids. If you're doing what's right for you. So see, that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. He's like, it's that old paradigm of, she won't let me go. And then you're going to be nice to him and you're listening to him and, he wants to do this, but he can't. No, it's self-serving. So, Anne, you got to find ways to release him and understand why you're tied to him. There's a connection there, but it's like there's not enough there yet, not just for the two of you, there's not enough there yet for him to move on.
Michelle, that's okay. I'm not attached to him at all. I even told him I'm not.
Good.
I'm not seeing him, and I'm not even communicating much. It was a period of time in June, July when we talked. But do you see that there will be someone? Well, it's okay. I'm not worried about that guy. If he comes available and says, "Okay, I'm free, please," then I may consider. But at this time, do you see that this partnership or remarriage even happens in my life in future?
Have that. But here's the thing. I want to go back to something. Unfortunately, when you are saying things like the wife won't let him go, you're now saying that he's not empowered, that some other person has control over him. And that's never going to work. You know what I'm saying? So if you have that mindset about somebody, then that's what you're communicating out into the world, that somebody that's coming to you is not going to be empowered, that they can't get out of something or make it their own decision. So you need to work with that a bit. I feel like maybe October, I keep hearing close of the year into next year. So I do feel that you are...
Mm-hmm. So you think that there will be a new person? Because honestly, I let that person go. I moved on already. I just want to have this partner. I do not want to waste my time anymore, another year. I do not want to waste just being by myself and traveling myself. So do you think that this person who will be willing to become a partner will show up? Believe me, in the last 3 or 4 years, every guy that I married was, every guy that I met was either married or 20 years younger than me, and that's why I don't know. Hopefully things will change.
I know, but what I'm trying to tell you, and I can't because we got our guest. I'm trying to help you, but you're missing the point here. You have a belief system that's attracting this to you, like that guys can't get out of the situation, or they want to but they can't, or they're they want to live fuller but they've got this wife, or they've got kids, or they're not the right person. You need to handle that belief system, that belief and whatever wound, whatever's connected to it emotionally, so that you don't attract that. That's why I'm kind of reiterating and going over, like, you say you're detached from this person, but yet it's come up in the conversation, and then you say his wife won't let. See, look, if you're willing to entertain.
Let me rephrase it. I thought this way, but it's in the past. I moved on. I changed my belief system. I pray. I write on the paper what I want. I believe in a new person in my life.
And
so it was like in June.
I'm going to suggest you re-listen to what I'm saying because you're not hearing it. The fact that you say that you're interested in a person that their wife won't let them leave shows why you're attracting men that are married or not emotionally available. They're not up to par, whether they're whatever. There's something you're coming in as the stronger person, not getting an equal. Because you're seeing that person, the wife, you're seeing somebody won't let them leave. Okay? Re-listen to it. I gotta move on. All right, sweetie. Okay, good.
Michelle,
hi, 718-80. Yeah, you're on air.
Oh my gosh! Hi, Michelle.
Hi.
My name is Hannah, and I am so to you.
Hi,
wow.
Good to see you.
I just want to say that you have helped so much. Hannah.
Hannah. Oh, welcome,
yeah.
Hannah.
You've helped me so much through a year of the tower. I live now in a completely different way than I would have thought possible 8 or 9 months ago. And it feels very connected to my soul, and I have a lot to thank you. So it's really cool to get to talk to you today. Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Thank you. That's why I do what I do, and I'm glad you're thriving.
Yeah,
I can hear it in your voice. You're thriving.
Oh, my gosh.
Wonderful.
Yes. So as soon as I left my old partner and my old place and I moved across the country, I got this book deal. And now I'm calling you today because I have a choice between 2 different publishers, and both of them seem great, and I feel really torn, and I don't really know what the right choice will be.
Okay, you've got 2 publishers, and you're trying to decide which one.
Yeah. And one of them is for a little bit more money, but it's for a company that I think a lot of the things that they do are really great, but I also feel a little funny about.
Well, there's your answer. Let's do this. Okay, so I want you, this thing's moving time of Scorpio. Okay, so I want you to think of, just as you're talking to me, so sit back in your chair and just take a breath. And so I want you to think of the first publisher that you're thinking about. Think of the publisher. Mm-hmm. And now as you're talking about the publisher, give me just initials so we don't have names. Just give me initial.
B.
Okay. And what do you think about B? What comes to mind?
They're offering me a level of control that is very that I kind of want to take.
Okay. So what I want you to notice, though, when you're talking about B, how do you feel? Do your shoulders kind of cave in? Do you feel like you're moving inward with your body, or do you feel like you're opening your chest and your energy is raising? Just notice it. Just notice it right now. Now I want you to think of the second choice, the other choice that you have.
Mhm.
And what's the initial?
Sorry, I'm like nervous talking on the phone to you, and I forget. I'm going to look at my email really quickly.
Okay, well, just think of, that's okay. Whatever they are, just think about
R.
it. And what comes to R? What comes to mind about R?
R, I get like my shoulders go higher, and R, my shoulders go lower. And part of it, I feel like part of why I'm feeling torn on this choice is that I've just left a partner that I had for a very long time who was absolute about a ton, and he would, if he heard this choice, it would be a no-brainer, and I think he would think badly of me if I went for the larger company. And I'm having trouble, I think, trying to separate out. We were partners for such a long time. Like, what is my moral compass and what is his, like, negativity and judgment, which I don't want to be a part of. Yeah.
But here's the thing that I'm getting, because what I see psychically, you're afraid. There's one that you want to go for that might be bigger, but you're afraid that you can't do it or keep up. So it's your fear that's blocking you. Yeah. Whether it's the fear of this guy judging you, but beyond that, it's your fear of going bigger. So there's your answer. There's your answer.
Okay.
You're ready for the bigger.
I know.
Feel the fear and do it anyway.
Yes.
Fear is, it's always there. My actor clients, they tell me all the time, you know, sometimes it's a movie or they're doing a play, you know, they're on Broadway, and they're like, oh, I feel I get, you know, what is that, sick all the time, you know, I can't, you know. Yeah. I go, what do you do? Oh, I just go on stage and the words, it's fine.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's your time, Hannah. It's your time to just go on stage.
It's my time.
It's your time.
Michele, you are a light. You are, you have helped me a ton. Thank you.
You are so, please keep us posted. I'm so absolutely happy for you. Yeah. And I just,
thank you.
Love hearing this. All right.
Thank
big hug to you, Hannah.
All right. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. Oh, I love hearing that. See what you do, the work, the inner work, and you just go for it. Sometimes it's our fear that holds us back because we're offered something so delicious. But what did I say in my blog post? Everyone read my blog post. How can you surprise yourself? Take the bigger piece of cake. You really want it. You want the bigger burrito, take it. The bigger company, the one that's offering more. Why not? All right, everyone, it's time for our second half of the program, our Awakening Dialogue. I'm so excited to have Daniel back. We have Daniel Fiverson back with us. He is an evolutionary astrologer. He's trained in the Jeffrey Wolf Green School of Evolutionary Astrology. He's a student of astrology, the I Ching, and tarot since the 60s. And Daniel's work embraces Eastern and Native American teachings, practical Kabbalah, modern psychology, archetypal mythology, and astronomy. His work has been published in the Journal of Evolutionary Astrology. And you can find Daniel on Facebook as well as his website the number 4, evolutionaryastrology.com. Hey, Daniel, welcome. Hello. Daniel? Whoops. Hi. Daniel? Okay, now I'm not sure what's happening. Are you there? Do you hear me? 505, you're on air. Uh-oh, what's happening? Oop, just went out. Okay, well, I'm not sure what happened. Okay. Got the number, but I don't know what's going on. So let's go to the next caller until we can see who is coming up. Hello. You're on air.
Hi, Michele. How are you?
Hi, welcome. I'm doing great.
Thank you.
I don't know what happened with our guests, but what's your first name?
It's Georgette.
Georgette. Hi, Georgette. Good to connect.
Hi there. So, Yeah, I wanted to see what you were able to pick up on my crossroads that I'm having with taking the next step in really doing something that is my life's work, that I really love, and starting a business doing that versus going for a full-time position.
Okay. Well, I get similar to the caller before. There's a little bit of fear about what to do, but I do feel the bigger part of you is saying it's time to go for what you really want.
Mhm.
So what is it? Yeah, what is it that you really want to do? That's what I'm hearing is the.
Yeah. That therein lies a little bit of the challenge. I mean, I have an idea, and that idea is about helping people shift the frequency in their home, and because it really brings the as well as creativity. I also have a talent with the home and aesthetics, etc. So the part that I'm getting a little stuck on is the marketing and the money that's involved if I want to do it right, and there's just too much swirling around.
There's no right way. There's the beginning way. There's the way that you're beginning to do something, because I feel like it's something that's going to grow over time. And I feel like it's about right now, it's about you perhaps being in more of a transitional job and then while you're building this. So the ideal, so you have to give yourself a little bit of a pass on the right way. It's just to start. I almost feel like it's consulting in the beginning. I feel like it's maybe, is that right? Okay, so it feels like it's something that you can do on the side, right?
Right. I also have something else that I do, and I was wondering if instead of taking a full-time job, I'm really resisting the whole office, really the old me, and a bit of heaviness towards going back. So I also do, I'm a personal food chef, I'm a natural food chef. So I'm wondering if I need to ramp that up a little bit more to carry me through while I'm doing this other endeavor, and I can avoid, needing to go back into the office.
Right. Well, here's the thing. I feel like when you're talking about transitional jobs, it's usually something that we are easily able to do. That's why it's transitional. It's a no-brainer. But what helps it if we have a plan. So even if you went back to the office, like a temporary or part-time, because I even feel like the chef does not feel full-time. I feel like for a period of time you're going to be juggling. You're going to be doing a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this. So the office could be whatever, part-time or what do you call it, temporary work, temp position. I wouldn't totally rule it out is what I'm hearing. What I feel is going to help you make it through the day and feel good about what you're doing is if you have a plan in place and you're doing these other things. See, a part of your inner psyche is saying, we've done this before. And
exactly.
Yeah. So it doesn't want you to get, okay, I think our guest is, that keeps going out. It doesn't want you, that part of you doesn't want you to get stuck in an office job.
Right.
Okay. It's like going, okay, we don't want you to just get stuck there and go, now I have bills, I need this, I got to do this. And so I guess I'm not going to move forward. I guess I'm going to stay here. So if you have an action plan in place that you're actually following through on, then that part of you is going to be workable. It'll be fine. The whole thing with the transitional job, it only works, or transitional position, even if it's only works if you have a plan in place. That makes sense?
Yeah, it definitely does make sense. I mean, there's someone who's just contacted me today based on my resume and said, we love your resume, we think you're perfect and all that other stuff. And there's a part of me that just kind of froze. They want me to take a test and, all that stuff. And I'm like, ugh, it's just so not, like my energy just doesn't want to go there.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I am needing.
You don't want to, but you
stability.
need it. See, that's the thing. I know. See, you're attached to what it means. Oh, let's see, Daniel.
Okay.
Daniel. Yeah. Hold on one sec. Daniel's
okay.
Calling from. Oh, that's okay. So, let's see. Hold on. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the thing. See, the thing is, you may not be. You can move. You may not be singing, "Oh God, goodly, I get to do this." But if you move in saying, this is a blessing, or I'm grateful because this is going to be a base, a foundation. Whether it's for a couple months, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, as long as you are getting your other stuff going while you have this base, it's easier to make money when the money is coming in. It's easier to.
Right.
I
spent the last 5 years. I spent the last 5 or 6 years doing just that. Having that transitional and having that plan, and I switched hats when I needed to, and I mean it's.
But
so
you
it's
didn't
like,
build. But you didn't build a new one. Tamara's putting in the chat. You need to trust that you can handle whatever comes next. Self-trust. Yeah. You see, that part of you thinks that you're going to get over-identified or you're going to get stuck in that job again. And you're not. You're not. As long as you start doing the other stuff while you get the job, whatever it is, take the test, put the energy, whatever it is that comes in that's an opening, then, do that while you're building. If the chefing picks up, then that's what you're able to do.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay. Put it out there and see what the universe is actually pointing me, which direction pointing me in.
Right. Yeah. Well, you're going to have to do something for a while. That's clear. There's something else. That's clear. What's going to be, however, you can parlay that. But you have to start. It's almost like you're stopping the energy. So you need something in. So just recognize that, and then on your downtime, get this other stuff going on.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, I'm used to doing that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
that's
how I
sense?
built my personal chef.
I know, but so it's always what we did before.
Right. Yeah. No, I do understand what you're saying, though. I really know that plan.
Right.
Yeah.
I know, but what I'm trying to tell you, yes, what I'm trying to say is there's a part of you that's afraid that you're not going to stick to it. Yeah. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's because of the finance. I'm not sure. But I feel like what you did before, if you do that now, that's going to parlay you into doing what you want to do. Because I do feel you working on your own. I do feel you doing consulting. I feel that's where you're going.
Good.
All right,
good. Yeah,
keep us posted. Keep us posted.
I think the fear is based on energy, that I'm going to have enough energy. That's really
Oh, you will.
to do this,
and that's what Miss Psychic Tamara said in the chat. Trust yourself that she can handle what comes next. You'll be able to do it.
Okay.
You'll be able to do it all. Because when you've got the plan in place, it's easy to do it all. But if the no plan is in place, then we get exhausted. Your inspiration will carry you. Your soul fuel will carry you. You can do it. Tamara, spot on.
All right, thank you.
All right, sweetie.
All right.
You're welcome, because it looks like we do have our guest. Hello, Daniel.
Oh, hi, Michelle. Can you hear me?
Hey! I can't.
Okay.
The only thing that I heard before
I don't know why you couldn't
like
hear, I don't know why you couldn't hear. I don't know why you couldn't hear me through the web interface, so I just called in. Okay, so hello.
Okay. Yes, it's hello. Yeah, it sounded like a car. There was like a lot of static. It was interesting. Yeah.
Okay.
So welcome. Great to have you here.
Thank you.
Who knows? It might work again. I don't know. Another time. But So I did introduce you at the top of the program. Thank you, Tamara. Tamara put your website in the chat. And just for those that might be tuning in right now, we are with Daniel Fiverson. And you can go to his website and get a peek at what he's about at forevolutionaryastrology.com. And that's the number 4, as well as find him on Facebook. He has a page there as well. Yay, Daniel, welcome back. So okay, first of all, because we're talking about asteroids, we've got a lot of aspects that are affecting all of this. This energy is just really, especially the last 4 to 6 months, been very, we could say, transformational, challenging, difficult.
All the above, absolutely. All the above, yes. But what's challenging is good, right? What's not challenging doesn't have much effect. So, yeah, it's all good.
Right. That's true. Okay. That's true.
Where do you want to start? I know we're already short on time. Where would you like to start? Can we do a little bit of background first? Do you want to just jump into what the asteroids are about or what they're doing? You tell me.
Yeah,
where you want to start.
Talk about, because a lot of people know of you, and then also they can go to your website and also Facebook page. I'm curious about the asteroids, and is that like Vesta? If you could go into that a little bit and what their impact is, and are we being impacted by the asteroids right now?
We're definitely being impacted. Just as a jumping off spot. When new astronomical bodies are discovered, it indicates it coincides with a leap in human consciousness. We didn't know about these we didn't know about these asteroids at all until 1801. But it wasn't until the 1970s that we actually had an ephemeris that we could work with them. Okay, so we knew they were up in the sky, but we had no idea about their movement or their placement, or we had no tools. So they have gradually come into our awareness, and it's really only since the 1970s that these energies have been present in our world, which I think is really fascinating, because if you think back to the 70s, it was the beginning of the women's movement, right? We had Erica Jong and Gloria Steinem and Susan Sontag, Betty Friedan, they all came on the scene in the 70s and 80s as a result of the discovery of these asteroids. Just to kind of set the stage a little bit, we have to look and understand how these male and female archetypes have been sorted out and how they have been, presented.
So they're archetypes. The asteroids are like archetypes. Okay.
Yes, each one of them is an archetype, just like the planets are. But as recently, and it's not so recent, but as recently as 6,000 years ago, we didn't have male sky gods. We didn't have a Mars and a Pluto and an Apollo. We had fertility goddesses all over the planet. There were fertility goddesses, and it's a fascinating study that anybody can look at their own. Again, it would take a lot of time, but what archaeologists have discovered, finding the artifacts and the relics, is the statues that they have discovered all are similar. It's almost as if they copied each other, but we know 6,000 years ago they didn't have any internet, they had no email, so they could not have copied from each other. It all appeared or was there simultaneously somehow. We know that history goes back right. We know that history goes back way farther than 6,000 years ago. I don't know if anybody is listening saw the movie The Cave of Forgotten Dreams, but they found a cave in France that was 30,000 years old with artwork on the walls of the cave that could be hung in the Tate Gallery or the Museum of Modern Art. Just really, really incredibly beautiful quality artwork. So that's just as an aside. This goes way back. So, but what really happened was that around 800 to 1200 BC, when the Romans and the Greeks conquered all those other eastern lands, Sumeria and Babylonia, all the ancient history, the pantheon got fragmented because men realized that they were part of the equation. When the fertility goddesses were active, the birth of a child was the most sacred event in human experience. And women were worshipped as goddesses. The goddess was where we came from. You know, I like to say to people, we didn't come from our fathers, we came from our mothers. But we've lost track of that. And it happened back with the Greeks and the Romans, where they took that the essential primary, the great mother, and they made her into Athena and Ceres and Juno and Hera and Artemis and Vesta. They made little parts of her. They diminished her. They reduced her power by fracturing her into all these other smaller goddesses, if you would. Though there was still always this overarching great mother who really that they were all about. They were just like different aspects of her. Okay? So when we look at these asteroids, what we are seeing are different, if you would, holographic perspectives of the Great Mother, of the essential primordial feminine energy goddess that was the source of all that is. There are even cosmologies that say that there was no creator, there was a creatress. And so
creation.
What's happening?
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead. So what's happening now is yeah. No, you go.
No. Go ahead. Go ahead. I was just thinking. So everything coming from this mother, divine mother, the womb. So there's this creatoress. So it's giving it a feminine energy.
Yes. And but it has been repressed for 6,000 or 7,000 years. Okay, you see what's happened? And since 1800s and then later, the later part of the 19th century, and especially in the middle of our century, it's all starting to reemerge back into our consciousness. And we see it in our world. What's really happening now, the two events that really come to mind for me most recently were the Women's March, earlier this year, and the outing of Harvey Weinstein. We're really seeing how these asteroids are taking their power and just showing us with inconvenient truth what's really happening in our world. And we can break this down specifically as to what's happening and what asteroids are involved. Basically, we're looking at 3 or 4 what I would call primary feminine asteroids. They're Ceres, Vesta, Athena, Pallas Athena, and Juno. And we can start with Athena. Pallas Athena was born parthenogenically from Zeus's head. She's Zeus's daughter. There was a prophecy that one of Zeus's children would overthrow him, just as he had overthrown his father Saturn. So he ate all of his children, and he also ate. He ate his wife, who was pregnant with Athena, and she was born from his crown chakra. The story goes, Hephaestus, who was another of the offspring, who was the god of the forge, made all the weapons, literally split Zeus's head open, and Athena jumped out of Zeus's head, fully clad in armor, shouting a battle cry. He claimed that he bore her independently, that she was born totally from him. That a man gave birth to a child. That notwithstanding, she has a very androgynous quality, and we recognize Pallas Athena woman in our world. Hillary Clinton's a great example, by a woman who stands up and is able to stand face to face with a man. Take her place in society just like a man would, to not be denigrated to second-class citizenship. You know, remember when we only had the moon and Venus as the feminine archetypes, the only two roles for women was either mother or lover. Okay?
Right.
Those were the two roles in life. They could be the mother or they could be the lover, the partner.
That was it, right?
Right, but the asteroids have brought all these other roles that women are now capable of holding into our society. And with Athena, it's that executive power. She's about strategy. She was the goddess of wisdom. She was the warrior queen. Pallas Athena was the one goddess who was most connected to the mortals. And in the Iliad and the Odyssey, which is where all these gods and goddesses play out, it's like a great play. Somebody should put it on one day. She's the one who's in contact with all the heroes of the Trojan War through the Iliad and with Odysseus all through the Odyssey, advising him, informing him. Sometimes she would she would disguise herself, and she would come to him as a beggar or an old woman or somebody that he knew, and so that he would listen to her, and she informs us. And Pallas Athena, just in the last 6 months, has been conjunct the North Node and conjunct Mercury. So we're getting these messages. Mercury is our communication. It's how our narrative and what we hear, how we speak, the stories that we tell. It's our communication. So that combination of Pallas and Mercury literally has had her whispering in our ear. She was just for most of the time she was actually in Pisces with Mercury and Aries and like talking to him from behind the veil. It was so totally symbolic. So she's there helping us. Okay, she was a great warrior. She fought alongside her brother Mars, Eris, but she would always try to negotiate peace first. Okay. The most famous story about Athena, Pallas Athena, is when the city of Athens was founded, and there was a contest between her and Poseidon as to which would be the patron god of the city, and so they each gave a gift to Athens. Poseidon took his spear, his trident, and he slammed the ground. And he created a saltwater spring right in the middle of Athens. Athena gave the city an olive tree. Well, guess which one they chose?
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay.
So
this is right.
So she became actually the most revered of all the goddesses in the Greek pantheon. She was held in the highest esteem. She had more worshippers than Ceres or Hera, because of her stature, because of the power that she held and the power that she expressed as a woman. Okay, so the other thing that this is, go ahead.
So this is bringing more consciousness in bringing more of that energy to us on the planet, is what you're saying. It's
bringing that feminine voice to the front of the collective dialogue.
Okay. Yeah, got it.
And it's bringing it's bringing the activism. It's bringing women, out of the house and onto the street. Onto the streets.
So that energy is supporting that, is what you're saying,
right.
by the asteroid. It supports that. So it sounds like it's a collective energy, right? It's more of a collective, or does it affect us personally as well? Okay.
Both. All of the archetypes affect us on both levels, because these archetypes are within us. They're not in the sky. They're in us. They're reflecting basic imagery, psychic imagery that we all hold within ourselves. But these feminine archetypes have been repressed for so long that they've become distorted. The expression of them has been lost.
Right.
But they're within us.
So,
the stars don't control us. It's merely our reflection. It's our mirror in the sky.
That's okay. I like that. It's a mirror in the sky. I like that. Yeah. So it's more the macrocosm of us, right? The micro, the macro.
Right. Right.
In a sense, you could say, yeah.
Right. But, and personally, it works, psychologically. And if you can think of all the ways that, it can express, through somebody, personally, how any of these archetypes unfold within us, whether we're talking about an asteroid or a planet or one of the luminaries, sun and moon, it depends on where we're at, consciously. If we're, still mostly asleep, then they're going to express themselves. They may not be expressing themselves very powerfully or very evidently, for one. They may not seem to be evident, but they can also come out with some kind of a distortion or an imbalance. So as we basically begin to wake up and become, more conscious and more aware of ourselves and the world around us, we enable these archetypes to express themselves more freely and openly.
Mm-hmm. So it sounds like it does affect us. You're saying there's always the personal or the collective, the individual. How can people tap more into this energy or find out about how it's affecting them, or perhaps it's maybe opening up more to this energy?
Well, obviously, as an astrologer, the first thing I would recommend is to learn where these planetary bodies are in their chart, and to understand, what they have brought in with them, because that's the roadmap. It's kind of like if we're traveling down a highway and there are different exits off that highway. Our life path is that highway. That's already been set in place by our higher self. But we have a choice which exits we're going to get on or off, or not get on and off. So it really is understanding what the basic dynamics are and how it's working in each chart. There's 12 houses and 12 signs, so that's at least 144 different combinations. And considering we're human consciousness, it's even more than that. Right.
So it's looking at where it's impacting you. And obviously it would be by the house placement as well, or any other aspects.
Yes.
So in a way, it's what I'm hearing too, that inner wisdom that Athena has, kind of a take charge or stepping, more forward in one's life in that feminine way, is something that we all can embrace, right?
Absolutely. Men have a Pallas Athena in their chart as well. Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not entirely correct to say that she does it in a feminine way, because she doesn't. She acts as a man, but she's a woman. Right. She always took the man's part throughout all her decisions.
Right. Wasn't she more also more singular, more on her own, or more?
Totally.
Yeah.
She was one of the virgin goddesses, yes. She rejected all the advances. Okay. Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
The other one that's really important, the time we have, is Vesta. Because Vesta is our sacred bond to ourselves. It's our commitment to our core being, where we really find our truth and our meaning. And it's also a kind of sacrifice, and Vesta. Let me just look at my notes here. I can't remember everything in my head. Vesta was conjunct Saturn, really from June, and will be through October. So what that's doing is that's bringing structure in this search, this inner search for truth. Vesta was the goddess of the hearth, but she wasn't the fire. She was the hearth itself. All the other gods and goddesses had temples. She didn't have any temples. Her temple was the hearth in everybody's home. or in the center of the town, and it represent it. We all have that same place within ourselves where that spirit, that fire is lit, is alive, and it's fanning that inner spiritual fire is what Vesta is about. That each of us carries with us, and to maintain it and to honor it and respect it and to be committed to that inner truth.
It reminds me too, it's about that solitary aspect of us really when we start going within, when we become more receptive, which is more the feminine energy, to what our own inner wisdom or what we're receiving, if you will, from the universe or cosmos or the all that is. It's that, to me, it ties into what I was talking about earlier in the program, that receptivity, that opening to channel, the opening to receive beyond our egoic aspect, beyond division, beyond male, female, because I also think of it, Athena, when you said it too, but androgynous, that her gifts were not predicated on being in a traditional female role, or you would even say male role. There's a blurring there, right?
Absolutely, that's spot on. All of them, all of them were committed to a non-consensus reality.
Oh, I like that's so Aquarian.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
I love that. Non-consensus reality. Woo, that's good. That is good. That's kind of where we're going.
That's where we're going. Just briefly, the third one, that's really active is Juno or Hera, and Hera was married to Zeus. She's the only archetype asteroid that really is predicated on relationship. She's about relationship, but she's about the sharing of power in relationship. She was amazingly faithful and committed, and no matter who he hung out with and had it off with, she was always with him. She would punish him, and she would find ways to get even, and she was very revengeful. She was full of wrath. So on one side she's got that fidelity, but she also has the wrath. And again, that's what we're seeing getting expressed in the world. There's an anger, there's a rage that is just seething below the surface against this patriarchy, against this BS that all of us, whether men or women, are being faced with. And this is the role of Juno, or Hera to the Greeks.
Wow. Yeah. I just put it's about channeling that rage, that anger, that rage, that righteous indignation, and from injustice. It's about channeling it.
Yes, exactly. Well, we're all getting this subconsciously. It's all in the zeitgeist. Okay, so if we watch a movie or we read a book, it's coming through all that. We're getting it all. What's the words escaping me? I mean, we're getting it's just like it permeated our culture.
Yes.
All of these energies.
Pretty powerful. What I get in this is, again, recognizing, maybe seeing where it is in your chart, and then also how can you consciously channel this energy. First of all, and recognizing that it is impacting you. It is impinging.
I think that in general, if we need a generalization that's not specific to everybody, what this is about is we all have to learn to stand in our own power and speak our truth. We all have to find within ourselves what that truth is, and allow ourselves the freedom and have the cojones. I love it when you said about cojones earlier.
Yeah, you're right.
To have the cojones to speak our truth, and that's what's beginning to happen. And unfortunately, Michelle, it's coming about because of people being just so battered that they can't take it anymore. So it's not like they're coming to okay, I'm going to do this now. It's totally out of necessity. But necessity, they say necessity is the mother of invention. It's catalyzing all of us to really, line up with what our soul is telling us that we need to be doing.
Yeah. I just put in the chat, cojones and chutzpah for the day. You got to have the chutzpah and the cojones.
you need chutzpah. There's no question, right?
That's right. This is not for the faint of heart. Oh my God, right. Daniel. Okay, well, welcome back again. I don't know what happened. We had a little technical difficulty with the mic. I don't know what was going on. It sounded like you were driving.
I think I did it. I think it's something I did. I'm sorry.
Yeah, whatever. But glad you got to be here and share with us really good, more insight and some really good information to add in the mix to help us navigate better. So thanks for taking the time to come on and share.
I wish we had more time.
Yeah. Next time. Part B.
Okay.
C, D. Okay.
All right, Michelle, thank you for having me.
Yeah. Take good care. You're welcome. All right, that was Daniel Fiverson. You can find out more information by going to his website for evolutionaryastrology.com, and that's the number 4, evolutionaryastrology.com. And for me to connect with me, you can go to soulplayground.life. You can sign up for my blog or my weekly Soul Insights. If you want to find out more information about the Liberate Your Life, clearing that core wounding and belief, or developing your psychic ability and opening the channel, you can email me at awakeningspodcast@gmail.com, or you can go to soulplayground.life and find out more information. Great to be with all of you here today. Such great input, great questions. Gosh, yeah, great questions, great callers, great feedback. I really love this co-creation that we're all doing. So I really appreciate all of you and what you're bringing to the table, what you're bringing here. As always, continue to shine your light, share your insight, and, of course, keep awake, and see you next week.
Awakenings broadcasts every Wednesday, 12 p.m. Pacific Time. Archive shows are available on iTunes. For continued Awaken conversation and insights, join the Awakenings group on Facebook and visit Michelle's blog at soulinsightsforspiritledliving.com. That's Soul Insights, the number 4, spiritledliving.com. Keep awake.